So there's the paper. I've marked the horizon. Let's start getting some water on, and then so just the sky at this point, and it's the usual thing. No, plenty of water, make sure it's shiny, but no puddles. And we'll just let that have a soak in for a few minutes. Okay, so with a little bit of raw sienna, the sky is so simple. We're going to do a stripe across the sky all in one go. Well, three passes I took on that, using the belly of the brush, and then a bit across the top, and that's it. Sky done. Then we need to move on to the trees. If it looks as if your paper's drying up a bit, which mine is by that horizon, just with some clean water, just go over it a bit. I'm sitting right underneath my heating duct, so it has an effect. Now you want this ultramarine Payne's grey mix fairly dark, and if possible, I'm going to lift this up like that, with the bit towards me so that it's almost upside. Or you could do it the other, turn your whole thing round and do it upside down. Okay, so just some longish strokes to start off with. Keep it upwards as much as you can. And then we've got a little small bit. If it looks like it's going too far, lower it. I'm going to stop now because mine's got far enough. And I'm just going along, and my board is now flat because it was going too far. Okay, I'm going to do the second layer. It's dried a bit, so we're just going to come along with a small hedge, the small bushes in front. Break it up so that it doesn't look as if we just painted a straight line. Make them different. I'm sort of tapping along as I go. And that's all there is to that one. Level it up a bit if you can. And that's it. You've got your, I'm tapping with the brush on this. Breaks it up a bit. And that's all there is to that one. So we're going to get some clean water, and we're going to wet the water bit. So missing out those two little triangle bits. And the same goes for it. It's give it plenty of water, no puddles. It's shiny all over. It's drying up just there. Okay. So I'm going to get a little bit of raw sienna and just so along the bottom and then a little bit on the right hand side. And all this here is left as white paper. It won't be white by the time we've made the trees show reflections, but so immediately, if not before, get the mix. Now, wear your trees or your little bushes, but straight on. So that's the middle bit goes straight up to the bush line. We're reflecting the ones behind the little hedges, so they need to be quite long. Then coming straight down at the sides where we've got the little triangle bits, straight down. Look at your back, the softer versions at the back of the trees, and try it. That one's tall, so I need a tall one down here. There, that's tall there. And remember, and with a thicker version of the paint, just on the bit where the water line butts up to the trees, reflect that hedge. This one, because it's further away, maybe a bit there, tiny bit. And this one the same, tiny bit there. Although it's a tall hedge, it's not reflecting the first half of it because it's land. So I'm just tapping that dark mix in, and because it's quite a thick mix, it's not bleeding into the other mix, and that's it. That's all I want that to do. No damp brush. Don't press very hard at all. And just rub gently with the plain water until you can see a little mark appear, a little white line, and then pat it and you've got little silver birch tree trunk, I guess. And again, and we do that all along. I've made a little branch on that one. You can use your creativity as to how you place them. Place them in clumps or give them a bit of a lean. You don't need too many. Now, if you find that this isn't working for you, use a little bit of gouache and do the same thing, but you do need it to be very, very fine strokes. And also I just do some little strokes up in the canopy, not really joined, just some little marks. And then because you don't need them all to join up. Okay, let's do one here. I'm stopping before I get to the because the tree trunks are behind the hedge. If you didn't get the little white branches in the hedge, you can do the same with this as this in the hedge. Now, this one, I'm going just finished off with a couple of lifted lines in the water and a few birds. And then I'm going to do the land. So I've mixed a bit of raw sienna with the blue mix that was on my palette. And I've got a mucky green. And just basically filling in, using slanted strokes to give the idea that it's a bank, and leaving a little bit of white. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the dark blue color just under that, so it gives it the idea there's some depth there. There's a bit of a river bank as opposed to a shore. So I've just underlined that bit of land there with the dark that we had on the go. We've got the birds in. We've got the shadows, the reflections there. The one thing we haven't got is reflections of some of these little scratch marks that I made. So if you've got those on your bushes, just do a few in the water. That's the only ones that I'm missing, really. That's it. You can't match the top with the bottom entirely. I mean, it's just not, unless you're doing realism. And the one thing I'm not is realistic. Okay, I'm stopping fiddling.